Tonight's extras and epilogues open the theater. Lights, cameras, action. Movies and reviews, things you might not have known. What happens when the credits roll? Let's get on with the show.
Team of commandos on the mission in the Central American jungle find themselves hunted by an extraterrestrial warrior.
All right, we got it. I'm joking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Extras and Epilogues here on the Podzilla 1985 Network. Quick shout out to my good friend who I miss dearly, and I can't wait for him to come back on the show, Cody Sandusky. With that, let's move on. Last night we did Alien. We're calling this month If It Bleeds, It Can Hear You Scream. I just changed the cover for the website, which if you don't go to the website, by the way, really quick plug, we never do this, Podzilla1985.com. You can catch up on all the backlog of episodes, like
hell yeah,
3 girlfriends worth of backlog back there. You
for
can go,
him.
For me.
For just him.
For just me. Well, maybe Dalton too.
That could be true.
Potentially Dalton, yeah.
I've been married this entire time, so
that is true.
And Tanner.
And Cody. Well. Ooh. We'll have to check on that.
I think he's been with Emily the entire time, though.
I think he's been with her.
They've been married the whole time.
No, because I mean, I know for a fact Allie and I were together when they got married because she went to the wedding with me.
Right.
And
right, because that's the wedding where we requested for his DJ to play the Ghostbusters theme, and we had to plead our case as to why he needed to do that.
Yes, and he did.
And then he did, and I don't think I've seen Cody ever so happy or disappointed in us at the same time.
When I think of Cody Sandusky, I think of 2 things. One, I think I wish everyone in the world would be more like Cody Sandusky. And the other thing I think of is at Jesse's wedding, and I still have it on video, when he absolutely destroyed the dance floor. I mean, it was truly an epic moment.
Moves.
Oh my God.
It's wild.
Honestly, he should be the next James Bond.
Oh my God.
All right.
And that suit, hell yeah.
Oh my God, he looks so good in it. The sad part is he's going to think I'm being sarcastic, and I'm not. I'm such an asshole.
Right.
Everything I say sounds sarcastic.
I know.
So you'll have to back me up on this. You got to back me up. Theater is open once again.
I'm backing him up.
I am Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host tonight. And like I was saying earlier, we did Alien last night. It is Alien versus Predator month here on E&E. We're so glad you could join us. Let me introduce the co-host for the evening as we review the original Predator. Don't say The Predator. That's a different movie, and it's very bad.
Right,
First up, and we're not watching it. First up is, of course, if you could see us do the handshake, we do it, and our muscles would not be there because, you know, nowhere near those guys. Jesus Christ, Hunter, the muscle mass alone.
See, this is what I didn't want to get drawn into, is a conversation about muscle mass.
Carl Weathers, Jesse the Body Ventura. Hi, Double H.
Oh, hello. Hey, you ghosting us, motherfucker, and I don't care who you are back in the real world. You give away our position one more time, I'll bleed you real quiet and leave you here. You got that?
Bill Duke, baby. And he didn't join us last night because he forgot. He was instead whooping ass at MetaZoo at STG, our good friends here in Cape Girardeau. It is Zach Kurgis.
Shannon, you son of a bitch.
What's the matter? STG got you pushing too many pencils?
pushing too many cards these days? I thought for sure he was going to tell you the joke. I thought he was going to tell you the joke about how he didn't say it twice. There was an echo.
Hey, Zach, last night I told my...
Oh, my God.
Never mind. I don't want to do those jokes.
Twice he tells this fucking joke, and everyone just looks at him.
What did he say? He told his wife, I'd like a little pussy, and she said, so would I.
Yeah, and it's his girlfriend. He says his girlfriend.
Yeah, and then he told his girlfriend, man, you've got a... God damn, I hate this. Man, you got a big pussy. Man, you've got a big pussy. She said, why'd you say it twice? He said, I didn't. I didn't. And then you get that sunny laugh, that
God. When you hear it through the Predator's mask, it's a whole separate thing. It's a whole different deal.
I was talking to somebody, I showed this movie to him for the first time, and he was like, you know, the Predator sounds weird when he talks. I'm like, he doesn't talk. He's just replaying audio he's heard Like, yeah, the sunny laugh, and then, anytime.
Anytime.
It's very, very good. All right.
Stabs that little scorpion.
I refuse to believe that was fake. That looked like a real scorpion got stabbed. This is back in the 80s.
Yeah, it's not out of the question that they just did that shit. I mean, they did film this on location in the jungle, so
well, they had
it's not out of the question they just found a damn scorpion.
Right. Maybe they opened up a bag of like Walmart lemons or something, and they found them. Lemons. Oh.
Walmart lemons and scorpions.
Oh, it's the lemon scorpions. They're the tastiest. So I want to get one trivia out of the way right now because you don't have it in the trivia list, and I think this is my favorite piece of trivia for this film. So Kevin Peter Hall plays the Predator in this movie. Obviously, we're gonna get to that in a second. But did you know who was originally supposed to play the Predator?
That's Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, and not only was he just supposed to do it, there's pictures of him on set with the costume on, with the helmet off, because the Predator also looked completely different. It looked more like a lobster-style creature, and they completely redesigned it for with the Predator that we know now. And it's a great.
The whole intention was
upgrade.
It's a much a much bigger upgrade. He was supposed to be very like lithe, and Jean-Claude Van Damme was a dancer essentially.
Right.
I mean, if I remember correctly, he knew ballet. Like he was one of those guys who just was extremely agile,
flexible,
and like dexterous. Yeah, and flexible. And so, yeah, like you said, it was more like aquatic and crustacean type looking, and it was much more flexible. And if I remember correctly, because this was also in that book about the Last Action Heroes, more or less it just came down to he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it.
He was like, "This sucks."
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Filming out in the fucking jungle. He was here for like 2 days. He's like, "It's hot. It's fucking uncomfortable. This sucks. I'm good. I'm out. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pack up and take off."
That's one of my favorite recastings. My other favorite is always going to be like Eric Stoltz in Back to the Future, because what a different series that would have been with Predator.
And another one,
it's
where
one
you
with
can
Predator.
see the actual photos.
Oh yeah. I saw that. Well, there's video of him interacting with. Yeah,
they filmed a large portion of that movie with him, and eventually they're like, "This is not working. We need Michael J. Fox." They finally got them to. I forget what he was on. Growing Pains at that time.
I think so.
Is that right? Anyway, the sitcom he was on, he finally got an agreement where he could go back and forth between the two, and he was doing like one in the day, one in the night, sleeping in between somehow. And
I think they made the right choice.
They don't need sleep.
I think they made the right choice. I like Eric Stoltz. But I can't see Marty McFly as anyone else.
Sure.
Just like I can't see the Predator as a crustacean. I am happy that Zach decided to wear his Predator hair tonight to come to the show. Dressed up for us. We appreciate it. Do not Zoidberg me.
He's hit you with the Zoidberg.
Yeah. All right. Let's just jump into it. Released June 12th, 1987. This is 8 years after Alien, which we reviewed yesterday. It is, boy, you couldn't think of two bigger sci-fi franchises started within this time period. Maybe Star Wars. Whoever heard of that?
Star Wars was already out, though. Star Wars starts
but still in that
70,
time, 77. But still that time period.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
sure,
Star Wars Empire,
yeah.
etc. But between this and The Thing and, oh man, sci-fi was on point, and they don't make them like they used to.
I mean, and you're talking about franchises, so Blade Runner comes out at that time, but Blade Runner's not a franchise at that time. It's really just the one movie, and
also
that's
sci-fi.
It's one and done. But yeah, also heavy sci-fi.
Right.
Oh God, we were just talking about this yesterday. Close Encounters, E.T.
Close Encounters, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a whole bunch of other big sci-fi movies at the time, but nobody's really doing what these movies are doing. Alien and Predator are as close as it gets to doing full-blown sci-fi horror with a monster at the helm of it. Because all the other horror, the flip side of that is all the other horror is slashers at this point. It's Freddy, it's Jason, it's Mike Myers. It's,
right.
Yeah.
And I think, and we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here with
Leatherface.
But Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was an action star. He did action movies. He did Commando. Right. He did, when was Terminator? Terminator was before this, wasn't it? It was absolutely before this because he speaks in this one.
Oh yeah, because Terminator was the early
Terminator. Yeah, it was 84. So, by 3 years. 3 years difference between him and Terminator versus him and Predator. Think about that.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger was starting to do those big budget action movies. And you said this earlier. if you didn't see, and I'll talk about it here in a second. If you didn't see the scene at the beginning and you just watched this movie blind, you would think this was another Schwarzenegger action film. It's got the quips, it's got the muscles, it's got, wonderful, wonderful set pieces, and then they goddamn twist you halfway through it, Completely.
To the point that I think you and I are on the same page about it, and I'm sure we'll talk about it later. I almost wish that scene at the beginning wasn't there.
I almost wish
that scene didn't exist. I mean, to be fair, the movie promotion is going to give it all away. The trailers are going to give it all away about what we're dealing with. But if you went into this movie completely blind, had no idea what was going on, and that scene with the spaceship in the beginning, it is not there. This is From Dusk Till Dawn. I mean, halfway through the movie, it becomes a completely different movie.
Yeah, it's
Sinners.
just
it's the same kind of idea.
Yep, it's well, at the very least, Sinners had that opening scene with the flashbacks. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Same deal. You take that away.
You take that out, you would know. Yeah,
and
okay,
you just jump straight to the day of. Then it'd be the same idea.
Yeah, and I love movies like that. Those are some of my favorite movies. This was directed by John McTiernan, who also did, listen to this, Die Hard, one of the best Christmas films, The Hunt for Red October, one of Connery's best films, and the first movie, I believe, with the, what is his name? Jack Ryan character, played by Alec Baldwin, that would go on to get like a bunch of movies and TV shows. And Die Hard with a Vengeance, which actually is my favorite Die Hard. I know that's probably not super popular to say, but that was always my favorite Die Hard. It's got Sam Jackson.
I think it's I was gonna say I think it is everybody's or not everybody's second favorite. Obviously, you just said it's your favorite, but I think those are the two. Like when you lean on two movies from that franchise, it's those two. And I think it also kind of follows. We've never done With a Vengeance for the show. We did Die Hard, but I think it kind of follows that same pattern that we've talked about with Ghostbusters and I've got a handful of other things where it's like, I understand why the first one is the original and why it's better in that respect, but I like this one better. Yeah. I like to watch the other one more.
It has the best line in all of Die Hard when John McClane says to him, "Hey Zeus, your name's Jesus, right?" No, they were calling you Jesus. No, it's Hey Zeus. I don't remember the exact wording, but it's very good.
Zeus.
Hey, Zeus. All right, back to this film. Written by Jim and John Thomas, who also did Predator 2, which is a good movie. We're going to review that next week. I'm excited for Hunter to watch it. It's a lot different than Predator 1. Yeah. It's got Danny Glover. Executive decision.
Never seen it.
Executive decision. This fucking Steven Seagal guy. Have you heard of him? So...
I've heard words.
He got top billing in that movie. He's in that movie for, I think, 5 minutes. Zach, have you ever seen Executive Decision?
Oh my God.
No, it's not a good movie. Was that? No? Yeah, don't watch it.
I haven't seen that.
Don't watch it. It's Kurt Russell.
Never even heard of it.
Kurt Russell, Jean Leguizamo, Steven Seagal. Speaking of Kurt Russell, did you see the trailer for the next season of Monarch? I'm talking to
you and Zach.
Yes.
The newest one?
Yeah.
With the newest trailer? I saw the first trailer.
You see the
teaser.
The one with Godzilla, Kong, and Titan X? They just released it today.
No.
It's pretty intense. Yeah, it's pretty intense. And then he did Wild Wild West, which we reviewed on this show, and we pretty much, I think, came to the same, it's a fun movie, but it's not a good movie.
Yeah, I forget where we landed in terms of reviews on that. No, it's not a good movie. It's not even really a well-made movie at most points in time, but it's fun. Yeah, we kind of grew up in the era of Wild Wild West.
You had to be
that
there.
We all wanted to like. So right, yeah.
Oh boy, listen to this cast. The muscle mass alone.
The muscle mass alone.
Arnold Schwarzenegger at his Schwarzeneggeriest. Not sure I like that word. He is so...
No, it's good. It works. It's
so
the point.
Jacked in this movie.
It's ridiculous.
But my God, Carl Weathers is so jacked in this movie.
Jesse Ventura is so jacked in this movie.
To be fair, he was already jacked. He was a wrestler. This was
true.
One of the...
right. He already had a point for that.
One of the first examples of a wrestler becoming a movie star, and him and Schwarzenegger actually became good friends. He starred in a few movies with Schwarzenegger. He was in Batman and Robin. He was in others, I'm sure. I just can't think of them right now. Demolition Man. He was in Demolition Man with that was Stallone. All right, moving on. So, Kevin Peter Hall is the man in the suit. You got Bill Duke, who is fantastic, and my friend Chad, who is black, said he was black as the darkest night in this film. Chad's black. He can say that. I can't. You've also got Shane Black.
There is a.
Oh, what?
It's around the time of the quote that I mentioned earlier on, where he Bill Duke pulls Carl Weathers down into like underneath that tree, and he says it about giving away our position and all that. You really do see the contrast at that point, because Carl Weathers also like pretty dark skinned, all things considered.
Yeah,
Bill Duke is like 6 shades darker than him.
Yes.
Like when they're there in that moment, because this is a pretty light movie, all things considered, in terms of the literal lighting, not the tone or anything like that. You can see things really well. It's shot in the jungle. It's shot on location. He at one point in time leans back just a little bit, and it's just eyes and teeth. That's it. That's all you can see. Like that man blends in hard.
He was very much. I don't know how to say it. He was very well stealthy. I don't know where that was going. Let's just move on from it.
The one time I mute my mic to go get a tissue and I can't pull you out of that jam,
no.
That's when you decide to do it.
Zach's been on mute this entire time. He's leaving me out to die, literally. Like, he could see me sweating.
Trying to ghost us.
Fucker.
Oh my God.
And Sonny Landham as Billy. And boy, Sonny Landham.
Yeah.
Here's another piece of trivia for you. 3 people from this film went into politics. Of course, Arnold Schwarzenegger became the governor of California. Jesse Ventura was the governor of where was he governor of? Minnesota?
Minnesota, yeah.
And Sonny Landham tried multiple times to run, first as a Republican in the Republican Party and later as an independent. And then in his later life, he was called out for his wanting the genocide of Arab people. He replied, "I call for outright bombing them back into the sand until they surrender. And if they don't surrender, then you continue the war."
God.
He further called for Arabs to be banned from entering the United States and referred to that ethnic group as camel dung shovelers, and would question on this, suggested using the terms ragheads and camel jockeys. So he ran as a libertarian until the Libertarian Party asked him to withdraw his nomination because his comments and his politics did not agree with their values.
That's because they didn't agree with anyone's values except for Sonny Landham.
Yeah, Sonny Landham's kind of an asshole, but he was good in this movie. It's got a runtime of 107 minutes. It's significantly shorter than Alien, and that works in its favor. And yet, I'm going to say it now. If I have one problem with this film, it drags a little.
Yeah.
It drags a little towards the middle end.
Yep. It feels like anytime we get past the initial reveal of the Predator up to the final big battle is just sort of like we're just going through the motions.
Let's
we
get
just
there.
Got to pick people off. We just got to get there and do the thing. And I think that's the biggest problem with classifying it as a horror movie. It is technically a horror movie and it has a lot of horror tropes, but like that's where it should be at scariest. And I'm never scared at that part of the movie. It's kind of
The Predator,
it's a good action flick, but it feels like a Metal Gear Solid movie at that point.
I don't think they've ever made a Predator film that was straight up horror. I think the closest one you could do is probably Prey, the one that came out on Hulu.
Yeah.
Because Predator 2 is also not it's more of a horror film than this one. But yeah, Predator has always kind of existed in that sci-fi action horror space that Alien would become later. Budget versus box office. $18 million budget versus $98 million at the box office. Critical reception, 64% critical rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Fuck y'all. 40, which is 6.4 out of 10. 47 out of 100 on Metacritic. Fuck y'all. Cinema score of B+. Fuck y'all. Okay. No, I'm not going to do it. You've explained it to me 50 times already on the show. You're not going to do it again. But it upsets me every time. On an A to F scale. And finally,
it's going to get worse this month. Just get ready.
No, because none of the other films I will fight. You can call the rest of the other than Predator 2 is the only one.
I know. I understand what you're saying, but here's what I'm getting at. Predator got a B+ cinema score. Predator 2 also got a B+ cinema score. So
That's
audiences,
fair.
according to that scoring system, believe that they are equally as good in terms of films. Alien Resurrection got a B-.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. What Alien 3 get? I'm looking now.
I'm trying to save you some trouble right now.
A C?
Alien 3 got a C.
You're saying Alien 3 is worse than Resurrection? What fucking meth are y'all?
And then Alien versus Predator got a B, so it's only slightly worse than this movie.
3 out of 4 stars from Roger Ebert, who said the film moves at a breakneck pace. It has strong and simple characterizations. It has good location photography and terrific special effects. And it supplies what it claims to supply, an effective action movie, though the creature's motivations are poorly explained. That is true, but you can also, to be fair, it is expanded on so much in subsequent stories and comics and movies, etc., etc. Now, you can't give this film credit for that, but I just want to throw that out there. There is a deep lore for Predator. Zach, you watched that animated Predator film. You know what I'm talking about. That movie goes hard.
Oh, yeah. The comics go hard, too.
And the comic is where Alien versus Predator started, actually. Other than Alien...
That's what I gathered. It was back in the 90s, like way before that movie actually happened, which I did not know.
But Predator 2 was what really set people off, and I bet you have it in the... Do you have it in the... No, you don't have it in the trivia. Yeah, so in Predator 2 at the end, when you see the Predator or the Predator's wall of trophies, there's an alien skull on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody went...
I just assumed we would talk about it.
Oh, of course
I didn't figure it needed to go in there. Well,
of course.
Well, you know the trivia behind that, why it happened, though, right?
That I don't. Should we save it for next week?
There's not much to it. It was just in Stan Winston's Creature Shop. It was just there.
Were they both
there was no, like...
Was it made by the same company?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Was Alien and Predator by the
apparently.
same... Oh, well, fuck it.
Yep.
Let's ride.
And so there was really no big, like, holy shit, we're gonna, oh man, people are gonna freak out when they see it. It was more just like, yeah, let's just put that in there. That'll look cool.
It's available.
And that kicked off the whole franchise.
Yes, and that franchise has been fantastic in video games and comics, and the movies were made. So, what is this film about? Well, if you skip the opening scene where you see the Predator ship going to Earth, which I hate. We'll talk about that now and get it out of the way. We mentioned it earlier. I hate that scene. I think that is such an unnecessary scene. One, it doesn't look very good. It's some of the worst special effects in the movie, and it's pointless. There was no part of me watching Predator where I thought, man, that's from Earth. That lives with us on Earth. No, it's of course it's an alien creature. No one's it's such a stupid scene, and I wish they'd left it out. But otherwise, you got a group of commandos who are tasked by Carl Weathers' character, and oh god, who's the old guy that's in this movie? It's shit,
yeah, I can't think of it either without looking it up. Hang on, I know exactly who you're talking about, and I can't.
He was also on The Simpsons. He did a guest role, and oh god, help, I'm drowning.
I'm trying. R.G. Armstrong.
No.
Nope. That's not the one. Hang on.
I'm gonna find
who the fuck is it? Because it's not it.
I'll find it.
It's not any of these guys in the top cast.
Oh, no, you are right. Holy shit, I've been wrong this entire time.
I'm gonna say that's got to be who that is.
I thought
I'm looking at him like, if it's not him, it's...
No, this is entirely on me. I thought it was Ernest Borgnine the entire time I've watched this film. I'm not kidding.
Oh, I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
I feel like an idiot now.
Oh, shit. R.G. Armstrong, you know what else he's well known for?
I do not.
He was in Dick Tracy, and he was Prune Face.
I would love to watch Dick Tracy for this show. I'm going to throw this in. And looking for this, I want to throw this in for Lindsay. Apparently, Peter Cullen did the voice for the Predator uncredited. That's interesting. Oh. So yeah, they get the job to go find these missing commandos. They go out to the jungle, and they discover that Schwarzenegger's character discovers that it was actually a setup by Carl Weathers' character, that they had ulterior motives, but unfortunately they all get attacked by an alien creature who has stealth technology and laser beams and all kinds of shit. And even though the commandos are well armed and well trained, how do you fight something you can't see? That's basically it. It's survival horror in the jungle. And we talked about it earlier. The movie starts as a standard Schwarzenegger action film. I think the turn is when they find the skinned bodies hung upside down. And I remember thinking, damn, that's rough.
that whole special effect looks wild.
That was good.
It's pretty fucking graphic, man. It's the first time that it gets to you, I think. Yeah.
One of my other favorite trivias for this is that apparently Jesse Ventura was the only other person on the set that could pick up the minigun other than Arnold. Like they were the only two that could actually carry it.
Yeah.
It was so damn heavy. Big strong man.
Well, that goes into I didn't have it in the trivia, but we've talked about it already. You and I have privately. So Ventura and Schwarzenegger apparently played a lot of pranks on each other, or at least like they had a little friendly rivalry going on the whole time. And part of it was probably spun because they were the two that could, pick up the minigun. So at one point in time, Ventura found out that his arms were 1 inch bigger around than Schwarzenegger's, and he started telling him this was the case. And Schwarzenegger said, "Bullshit! Let's measure him, and whoever's arms are bigger, the other one has to buy him a bottle of champagne." And he's like, "All right, cool." So they did it, and Schwarzenegger's arms, sure enough, were bigger than Ventura's. Go back to why did Ventura think that was the case in the first place? Because Schwarzenegger paid the costumer to tell Ventura his arms were bigger and in his costuming so that they would make the bet. So he paid this guy so he could win a bet against Ventura for a bottle of champagne and basically just to fuck with him. Like, that's who Arnold Schwarzenegger was on a set at this point in time.
It reminds me of that Dana Carvey story where going back to Seagal, where he sees Arnold Schwarzenegger in a restaurant. He tells him, "Hey, we had Seagal on SNL," which I think is like the only episode of SNL that you cannot find. They never re-air it anywhere because it was so bad. And he says, Seagal said he'd kick your fucking ass. And he said Schwarzenegger had a big old cigar, because of course he did. He always did. And he leaned back in his seat and said, "Is that the fact?" And you can just see, I just see the smirk on his face while he said it.
Oh my God.
I'll make a controversial statement here and now. I like this movie more than Alien. I don't think it's as good, but I like it more. I love the horror of Alien, but man, this movie is so goddamn quotable, and everyone looks like they're just having the most fun while they're doing it. And if you like big, strong men doing big, strong man things in the jungle together in secret, this movie is for you. It's
easy, Mac. Come on.
Schwarzenegger sold me on this movie alone, and my only sadness with this film is that, unlike Ellen Ripley with Alien, they never brought Dutch back. He's only in to be fair.
It's going to come up in the trivia a bunch of times over the next couple of weeks, but there were multiple times they tried to do so, and there were things that kept jumping in the way. So he was, just to get ahead of it, he was supposed to be part of Predator 2. That didn't happen, and there's conflicting stories as to why. One of them was that Arnold wanted another $250,000 to do it. They said no. Another $250,000. One of them was that for that same movie, somebody else, I think the director, said that they couldn't match his schedule, like the shooting schedule didn't match Arnold's schedule, whatever. And then Predators, he was supposed to have a cameo in toward the end, and he actually had already said, "I'll be glad to do it. It'll take no time at all. It'll be a lot of fun." But at the time, he was running for governor of California, and he said, "If I lose the election, you got me. I'll be there. I can't do it if I win, though." And then, sure enough, he won. So he literally couldn't do it.
That would have been a fantastic return if he was in Predators, because I actually like Predators. I don't love it, but I like it. We'll talk about it a little bit later. Since we're not going to...
And he also, part of that was because the Predators setup at the time, and we'll talk about it when we watch that, was a totally different kind of movie. When Robert Rodriguez had a little more say in what that movie was going to be, it was a very, very different film.
Yeah, I heard he was looking for a guy that looked like Danny Trejo.
Yeah, and then Danny Trejo called me and said, "I heard you're looking for a guy who looks like Danny Trejo," and hey, I'm a guy who looks like Danny Trejo.
Since we're not going to do the Predator, I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but I know what he means. At the end of the Predator, they get this like Predator fighting robot suit, but the original ending was supposed to be Newt from Aliens as a full-grown woman was going to be there. And you go, none of that makes sense at all. She's time traveling.
What the hell?
But that's what they were going to do. She was going to be like a Predator-suited alien killer. But yeah, they didn't go with that. Well, you just should have. You already got what you did to poor Thomas Jane. This movie, though, I could watch this movie over and over again. Whereas Alien is this dreadful scary thing that you kind of your eyes are glued to it because you want to see what happens next. Your eyes are glued to this one, but for the different reason. I mean, it's because you want to see what happens next. And what is Schwarzenegger going to do next? Here he is sticking a guy with a machete, and he says, "Stick around." Here he is lifting a truck off of its base and rolling it down into the jungle. They're gunning people down left and right. Jesse Ventura's got a fucking minigun. I mean, this movie is all over the place. Some of the best movie quotes I've ever heard were from this film. It's just a joy to watch. Unlike Alien, it does get bogged down a little towards the end. We talked about that a second ago, and that is the only fault I have with this movie. Otherwise, I do think this is a really great sci-fi horror. But Zach, since you are our guest, I want to talk to you about this. Plus, you've been strangely quiet, and I have to hook up my mouse because it's dying. What were your first experiences with The Predator? Because I saw this movie when I was a teenager, I'm pretty sure. It was on TV, probably one of those late night things. And I loved it the moment I saw it because I'm into those things. Jungles, men, sweat. What about you?
So this is another one of those that I saw at a younger age than I probably should have. I think
that was Showgirls for me.
This movie when I was probably like 6 or 7. I always remember watching this movie. Because she knew I liked Arnold. At that point, I would watch a lot of Arnold movies or whatever. But then with the wrestling, and I guess she was just like, it was a different time, man. You know, it was the 90s. We're gonna let the kids just watch whatever. But I enjoyed it. The Predator did scare me as a kid. I remember that. But watching it today, I thought it was kind of funny. I guess I never realized. And like, there's a very few scenes they have that like somber, like horn music or whatever playing. I don't know why, but that was the funniest parts for me. And I've never noticed that.
What? Now I have to go watch it again.
When they're doing the funeral scene, you just hear like this very somber like horn, and it's just like
watch it be taps.
It's just like a nice. It's a very American tune, I guess you could say. Is what it just I
think it is taps. It's a version of taps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after the explosion happens, and he's just standing there, it's the same thing that's playing, and it's like such a drastic thing in the movie that it was just very funny to me, and I've never noticed it.
Well, except you forget when that music kicks in, and you know exactly which music I'm talking about, where all of a sudden it just starts going. It's oh my god, I get nervous. It's like the damn music in Sonic when the bubble comes up and you're dying of drowning. It instills anxiety into me. So
I'm glad you guys have mentioned some of this. I also noticed the music was pretty prominent in this movie, and I'm like, look, I don't want to get ahead of myself here, but I'm like, the music is better than the movie. What is happening? Like, why is this score so prolific? Like, it's really, really intense and well done. And then I looked up who the fucking composer was. It's not John Williams. I know your mind's going to, if it was John Williams, I would know it. It's fucking Alan Silvestri. Alan Silvestri, who also scored Back to the Future, The Avengers, a great bunch of other. I mean, that Avengers like motif that the ba 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 ba, that's him. The Back to the Future stuff, da 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 da, that's fucking him. So I'm a little surprised that nothing out of this ever like became that kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, Alan Silvestri is like, he's up there with John Williams as film composers go.
I think the background music in this was more ambient than those movies. Those movies had themes, and even though The Predator does have a theme, I don't think it was as important as the themes are to those movies. Because when I think of this movie, the first thing I think of is Long Tall Sally. This is where I first heard Long Tall Sally.
Right. Yeah.
It still has. Again, if you didn't know this was a horror film, you would think this was just another war film. I mean, it literally starts with with Little Richard. I mean, So I don't think the theme, but the music is very good. It's just more subtle, which is kind of crazy for an action movie. Except for that theme that goes.
Again, I mean, they hire. It's that thing where it's like they should have sent a poet. They did this time for some reason. It's a really, the music's great, but it is a little incongruous with the whole movie. Like you're sort of like, why would they send Alan Silvestri of all people to do? It's like sending Danny Elfman to score like fucking Ken Burns documentary. Like, yeah, I don't understand. No, that's perfect actually.
No, it is. But at the time, I'm sure people went, wait, Danny Elfman is doing The Simpsons, and then it was like, oh, it's perfect. Gotcha.
Right.
It's wonderful.
He matches it well. Yeah. Yep.
Now, I'm not saying Predator's as good as The Simpsons, but
or is he?
but this is another film that is so iconic that it's parodied and everything else. Those movies back in the day really caught everybody's attention, and I saw this one. I saw part 2, and then I think I've seen every Predator film in theater. Oh my God, I've seen every Predator film in theater except the first 2 because I was too young. And I've only ever seen one Alien film in theater. Well, do you count Prometheus and Covenant? Covenant, yes, it's absolutely Alien.
I don't know.
Look, I'm getting off topic at this point. Let's get back to this film.
I would, yes. Yes. It's just a different timeline.
Who would win in a fight, Zach? Ellen Ripley or Dutch? That's the real question.
Are we talking hand to hand, or like, does she have her giant mech suit?
I mean, hand to hand.
What are we talking here?
You've heard of show muscles. I mean, Schwarzenegger's strong doesn't mean he can fight, but Dutch can because he's a commando.
Yeah, that man took some licks from a Predator because the Predator came down and said, "I'm gonna punch you."
I think
you punch me in the face, I'm gonna show you a punch.
My favorite thing is when he just covers himself in mud, and that makes him completely invisible to the Predator.
I never noticed. I always remembered him covering himself, but then I realized that it just. They do it in a way that because he's trying to scurry away and get away from him, it's kind of believable, except for you can clearly tell, they stopped at one point to actually add mud to it. But I appreciate the detail that they show him actually turning to where he first is sliding on his belly and then turns to get the rest of his body. So that I get, but yeah, no, I agree with you.
I find it just as silly.
I never noticed that though.
I find it just as silly as when I watched The Walking Dead and Rick covered himself in zombie entrails. That way they wouldn't notice him. I kind of thought that was horse shit too.
Brother, it wasn't just him. There's a whole group of people that live that way in The Walking Dead.
Right.
And they live among the zombies.
Yeah.
Don't they wear their faces too? And stuff like that.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. They have a whole mask and a suit. Hey, real quick, look, I don't need to be super nitpicky or anything.
No, go ahead. That's what we're here for.
So Dutch covers himself in mud. He figures out by accident that the thing has heat tracking visibility. That's how it can see him better. So that works out, right? And then they do the thing later where he ends up in the water and that knocks it off, and now he's just got to deal with it. But he doesn't cover his eyes.
Yes.
And we know that his eyes produce a heat signature because when the Predator's in his face, you can see the fucking heat coming from it. So at the very least, it would have been so easy. Just put the fucking thing, just put it on your eyelids, man. And just every once in a while have an insert shot of him closing his eyes, and that's it.
Right.
It shouldn't work like that anyway, but if you're going to stick with your logic, I need the internal logic to remain sound. It has to be that way.
I'll tell you my problem with this, my other nitpick of this film, because I agree with you. It's a silly oversight, but again, you're watching a movie about a guy fight a predator. Like you said, it is nitpicky because you got to be a little nitpicky. But I think a bigger problem, and it's not as, so I won't fault this movie with it because at the time you didn't know. Again, this was the beginning of the franchise. They really didn't have any established rules yet, as far as I know, because all the comics came after this movie. I'm pretty sure this movie was the beginning. And later they would talk about how, when we'll tie it back to what Roger Ebert said, what are the creature's motivations? Well, it's a hunter. It hunts for sport. And the reason it doesn't, okay, you know what? No, I can't criticize this film for it because there's a part where she picks up the gun and he tells her, no, don't pick it up. He doesn't see you as a threat. Therefore, it can't, whatever. But the Predator is armed with stealth technology and a shoulder cannon that can rip through skin like it's nothing. Blades, a self-destruction device.
Unless it shoots Arnold.
Well, yeah,
which was also bothering me.
But
that bothered the shit out of me. I forgot that happens. I'm like, oh, he shot Arnold, but Arnold can't die because he's the hero. So
it's got
do a different thing. Just don't fucking shoot him.
But my problem is, if and this becomes way bigger in the later sequels, if the Predator's whole thing is honor and he won't attack, threats, that people that aren't threats to him, who is a threat to him really? And I get the point is that Arnold is the ultimate predator, because they go one-on-one and he beats him. But like, man, they play loose and hard with the Predator's moral code throughout the series. And I always find it a little bit ridiculous. For most regular human beings that aren't commandos, and even the commandos to an extent, they don't have fucking stealth technology. It would be like taking a machine gun, in a deer stand and wait for a deer and gun it down. Like, you're probably going to kill it, but where was the sport, That always bothered me. And that's what's always bothered me about the Predator. What saves this movie for me, legitimately, isn't the Predator. He is cool at the end. I don't like, the mask looks fine, but it's when he takes the mask off that he becomes, like, iconic. You see the mandibles, you hear the scream, the roar, the guttural roar. But it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's Carl Weathers, it's Jesse Ventura. The supporting cast is so much fun that it makes up for what I have always felt was a second-tier sci-fi horror character. I was never a Predator fan, but I love the Predator film. And I think Zach is the opposite. Don't you like Predator more than like the xenomorphs from Alien?
Yeah, so, and I think that might have something, a lot to do with, I didn't actually watch Aliens until I got, like, in my older years. I just, like, I want to say, honestly, my first movie that I remember seeing xenomorphs, like full-blown xenomorphs, would have been AVP.
AVP.
Because I did go and see that in theaters. But for some reason, this was one of those movies, my mom would let me watch this, but I wasn't allowed to watch Alien. I don't know, man. So I just never, got big into it.
Which is just so weird because Alien is so much worse. I mean, Predator is so much worse for a kid than Alien. The worst Alien has is it's scary, and of course, Ellen Ripley wears the smallest panties ever created. We talked about this.
And I guess, something creeping or lurking in the darkness.
Right, but
you can kind of see the Predator.
But that's
you don't see a xenomorph till it's there.
But that's just that childhood. This isn't real, but I'm creeped out. Predator has language, super bad words, blood, gore. Like, it's way less appropriate for a child, I feel like. But that's just me. Hey.
Well, yeah, but hey, it's okay.
From a content perspective, it might not be appropriate, but at the same time, you're not talking about like the maturity level of understanding. I think a younger kid can watch Predator and generally get what's going on, versus having a younger kid watch Alien and understand what's happening and why.
Yeah, I agree with that.
See what I'm saying?
I agree, because in Alien, you would have to explain to a kid about rape. You'd have to explain to them with the ingestion of the egg, et cetera, and the monster, its life cycles. In Predator, a kid would just go, "That's just a toy. That's a toy I can buy."
Well, and
that's cool.
And also,
it's two action figures going at it.
Yeah, there are examples in the movies themselves. Throughout most of Alien, we get very little in the way of descriptions about what's happening, except for the occasional conversations with, Ash toward the end and the computer and all that. But in Predator, I mean, we were just talking about it. The moment that Dutch gets covered in mud and the Predator can't see him and he walks away, there's a push in on Arnold where he literally goes, "You couldn't see me." And I'm like, yeah, you dumb motherfucker. Did you really need to say that out loud? Like, my God, give me 3 levels of just trust in some way. Give me some little bit of trust that as a moviegoer, I can look at that and go, oh, I saw what happened there. He couldn't see him. You didn't need to say that.
You know what's sad, though? I bet there's at least 1 or 2 or 3 wristers out there that doesn't understand that heat signatures are a thing.
Well... Well, look, he's just sharing his opinion, and that's the great thing about living this life.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, ChatGPT saves the day again. All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that the first time that we actually see him like fully? Besides, like just like leg shots and all that, is when he comes out of the water and his. Cloaking tech.
No, there's at least once.
Water.
There's at least once before that where he's standing, and because Bill Duke sees him, his suit like goes away for a moment and then comes back.
Yeah, there's like a split second. But
that's
this
like the first full on frontal that you see.
But again,
please don't say full frontal predator. I'm not
sorry.
I think that's the sequel to Kirby Ray's Feet Fest 64.
No. I think Full Frontal Predator was produced by Chris Hansen. Why don't you have a seat over there?
Predator.
Why did Zach look at his door when I said Chris Hansen?
Well, that
like
doesn't explain anything. Yeah.
I dropped my gods.
He dropped his gods.
My gods.
His cards. This was the movie that made me want to use a minigun in every video game I'd ever play from now on. This may have been the start of my love of Power Armor, because Power Armor with the giant miniguns.
Sure, yeah.
After this movie and Doom, anytime we play Call of Duty, I always go for the LMG because it's the closest thing I can get to a Gatling gun. It's my thing. And this is the movie that made me go, oh shit, big muscles and big guns are awesome. they are.
Maybe I just didn't. Well, I know I just didn't have that same experience with it because I didn't see this movie until I was in like college. Much like Alien, this is not something I watched as a kid at all. The first time I saw this was probably, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago at this point. I mean, my God, when did I graduate college? Almost 20 years? Oh, God.
Wait, that's a new rule. We don't talk about that.
Might have been later than that.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess it was 15 to 20 years ago the first time I saw this movie. And so I was a little bit past I was kind of more in the max stage of, God, the muscle mass alone, It's
a lot of muscles. A lot of muscles.
It really is.
Well, I think we've waxed poetic enough once again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to the reviews. And after the reviews, and after we do the epilogues, we have a new segment that I'm proud to introduce. Specifically,
I'm proud for you to introduce it too, because I don't know what it is.
He doesn't know what it is. I'll you know what? I'm not going to make you wait. I'll say it now. So, this is just this month, and maybe we'll do it again. But I thought what would really be fun is, and look, the rules are bullshit. Let's just do it to have fun. Don't think too much about it. We do that week's 2 films against each other and decide which one was better. I mean, we don't have to do it as a second review. We can just go by our reviews, Okay. So who wins this week? Alien or Predator, the first film in the franchise? Let's find out. On this show, of course, we do a 5-point system. 2 thumbs up. Well, that's a Tanner, fella. You love it. 1 up. Well, I believe that's a Shannon, or is that a Lindsay? No, it's a Zach.
That was a Zach.
That's a Zach.
That was Zach.
He likes it. 1 up, 1 down is the Shannon. You have to explain yourself a lot because it could be a number of things. 1 down is the Double H. I just didn't care for it, And then 2 down is you hated it. It's the Cody Sandusky Rage-a-thon. I've never heard anyone get as mad at films as that man.
He really does. He really does. And when he likes it, when he really likes something, he likes it. When he hates it, he hates it.
Like, neither of us really liked Die Another Day. I gave it 1 thumb down, but he fucking hated it. He
couldn't stand it.
Yeah. All right. So Zach is our special guest. Zach, if you would please take the honor of the first review. And also, just for the record, if you had to review Alien, what would you have given it? This is important because now you're booked for all month again. Congrats.
I'd probably settle on 1 thumb up.
Okay, so 2 thumbs up. Oh shit! I didn't even think about it. 2 thumbs up and 1 thumb up. All right, so there's your grade for Alien from the panel here. But now, please go on with Predator. Your thoughts?
Predator. Because I definitely like Predator more than I like Alien, but I'm also not trying to just let my vote be biased based on how much I enjoy this movie, because I can watch this movie at any point, at any time. This is a background movie. So for critical ratings and all that, I'm gonna stick with my level and the 1 thumb up. we're gonna stick my guns. I think it's a good movie, especially. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's two Zachs this week from Zach.
Yeah, that's the way we do it. You missed me yesterday, you get 2 today.
Hell yeah.
But no, I think it's a good alien action horror in a sense movie. Kind of like you were saying, like you guys were kind of talking about earlier. Alien, I feel like the Alien franchise and the Alien movies are way more horror filled than like Predator. Predator is more campy. It's got campiness to it. But it's kind of part of the charm in a way. Like some of the things. But no, I think it's definitely a good one. Like Hunter was also saying, you know, I think a smaller kid could watch this and just visually, if your kid's not terrified of things or not a chicken, then they could probably watch Predator and be okay. You know,
maybe show them the safe for TV version, so your kid doesn't look at you and go, "What's pussy?"
Yeah, definitely on that part.
Fucking little Jimmy, you little bastard.
Saying that.
All right, Hunter, 50 minutes, because every time we talk about Elon Musk or Donald Trump or Joe Rogan, I'm going to hit the button that goes, "What's a pussy?" All right.
They got a little Mickey Mouse that time.
They all do eventually. All right, Zach.
Yo.
I thought you had another thought.
Oh, yeah, no, it's a good movie. The visual effects definitely hold up more, or still to this day, because most of it's practical effects. And I agree with you. I definitely think that's a real scorpion as well.
Yeah, I really do.
And
movie
because
magic.
it's a bug or an insect, it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
the cops, you know, they don't even care. They're not even supposed to be around. Like, it's not a big deal at all. Yeah. All right.
They're in the middle of nowhere. It's okay.
Yeah, it's in the jungle. You don't have PETA in the jungle.
Yeah, there ain't nothing around except for Russians, apparently.
Russian beaters in the jungle. Okay, well, I don't like that.
Okay.
Being chased by the Predator.
I got it.
Russian beaters in the jungle. Being
Being
chased by a predator.
Oh my God.
I think that's too long. Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to the first part.
Oh, God. Lord help me through this heat. All right, Double H, you're up next.
No, it's your week with the kids.
You sure?
Isn't it? Didn't you?
No, I went second last night.
I could have sworn.
Because I said it's 2 thumbs. Yeah, because remember, you gave it 2 thumbs up, and then I was like, I also give it 2 thumbs up, but here's the thing I had a problem with.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm the motor mouth now.
Okay, so it is my turn then. I'm gonna give it the old Zach as well. I'm gonna give it 1 thumb up too. Look, I really like this movie to a certain degree. There's a lot to like about it. I think there's also enough to nitpick that it can't be as good as a 2 thumbs up for me. I also don't have any kind of nostalgic attachment to this movie, so I think it's a little purer of just, I've seen it a handful of times. I don't generally dislike what I'm seeing. I like quite a bit of it. I agree with the Ebert review. It's the stuff that's shot on location. These really kind of big, broad characters are really fun. You really don't see enough of this kind of thing in horror movies, where I care about the guys that are getting picked off, but not in the way that I would about, like, I'm not sympathetic really mostly about them the way that I would, like, kids are being killed, by Mike Myers, or I keep saying Mike Myers, Michael Myers. They're 2 different people. It's not the same kind of care, right? Like in this case, it's once the first thing goes down, once the first guy is gone, they all kind of turn to their own different things. Dutch gets very serious. Okay, how are we going to get out of this? Dylan is refusing to believe anything that's going on.
Right. Sonny's scared
Mike,
Billy's scared shitless. He went from being the bravest.
Billy's scared shitless.
Yeah. What's hunting this ain't no man. Yeah, we all gonna die.
Bill Duke.
I forget
Bill Duke's character's name, but he just goes insane.
He goes nuts.
Like he's literally mentally broken from that point. So I like a lot of that. A lot of that stuff is very cool. Again, the intro is very cool. I love a good 180 movie like we were talking about earlier, from Dusk Till Dawn and Sinners, where they just pull the rug out from under you. But yeah, I don't love that opening sequence, and I can't use that enough to drop it down, but it's the combination of that. It does sag a little bit once we start losing people. I honestly, we didn't talk about this at all. I don't care for the character of Anna. I feel like that's a complete just wasted fucking role.
Well, okay, so
it was just, we got to have a girl in the movie, so let's get a girl in there.
She was the girl of the movie.
She had a little bit of backstory.
Yeah, she had a little story and knowledge, but I will give them credit for at least not making her a love interest. At no point do her and Dutch kiss. You know, that's nice.
I mean, you're not wrong.
It just becomes
that's nice.
Him protecting her.
Same thing with Ripley through the Alien franchise. Like, your two big heroes never like have a love interest.
Right, but it's Chris Rock's bit about, I'll take care of my kids. Man, that's what you're supposed to do.
Like, you want a cookie?
You don't get bonus points. Yeah, you don't get bonus points for doing that shit that way. So I don't disagree, though. That is nice, and it is a good thing to point out, at least. Not bonus points, but it's worth noting.
After Bond all month long, it is nice.
Right. I do think that it gets a little silly toward the end. As much as I want to really be super invested in a lot of what's going there, well, it gets a little Home Alone-y. It gets a little, I don't know. The whole, like I said, it starts the moment that he shoots Dutch with the same shit he shot other people with and murdered them, and Dutch just goes, "Ow!" I'm like, come on, man.
It blew
I know he's
Weathers'
fucking Arnold
arm
Schwarzenegger,
off.
but
that was horrible.
I would have to rewatch it, but for that part, I think what they were meaning to happen, or what we're supposed to believe happened, and I put quotes because, again, this is very loosely, and I'd have to watch the scene again, but I'm pretty sure it like shoots the gun and like blows does something to the gun.
I think he's right.
The blast back.
Then that should be very clear.
Yeah, I think he's right.
That is the burn is all it is. Yeah, but also how did that burn not affect him? Adrenaline.
Yeah, I'm willing. Right, I'm willing to acquiesce to ever do that, but then there should be a bigger deal made.
Yeah, because it's kind of zoomed out, and the way they film it's like in a stoppy motion kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
So here's where I can sum up probably my biggest overall problem with this movie, and I never thought I would say this because this is kind of disappointing to have to put it this way, and it's what's keeping it from being 2 thumbs up, and what I think keeps it as a very good action movie, but not the best. This movie is at the same time, and maybe it wasn't then, but nowadays the legacy it fulfills, it is simultaneously trying to be the beginning of a horror franchise, or like an action horror sci-fi franchise, and an Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle. Yeah. And it's too much. It's too much to do both of those things. I think, and I could be wrong about this, I don't know that they had a plan for sequels. I don't know if that was ever the plan. We're going to make a bunch of these or whatever. I think the intention originally was
Schwarzenegger.
This is an Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle.
Yeah.
Or it's a really good, like, it's a movie that we can't make without a guy like him attached to it. So not necessarily a vehicle for him, but he's the vehicle for the movie. It could be vice versa. Right. But trying to be those things and also be the beginning of some storied franchise. And I think this is basically what Roger Ebert's argument was. This feels like a really cool character, but this movie doesn't do enough that, he didn't know at the time, but that later movies will then apparently go back and do to establish what precisely is happening and really get the feel and then the way this character is supposed to be done down pat. So for those reasons, I got to land on 1-up. But again, it's a good solid 1-up. I've seen this movie a handful of times. I'm never disappointed to spend time sitting and watching it. I do think it has a little less in the way of restrictions, like Aliens does. We talked about this yesterday, or Alien, I should say. Alien is really a solitary, in the dark, sit down and view this movie the way it's supposed to be viewed. Predator could be playing on an airplane, and I wouldn't miss a moment of it. I know exactly what's going on. I'd be able to keep up with it. It's a little lighter in that sense. And that I think works to its benefit. I think this movie being too serious would be a problem. And I feel like that's what I'm going to find out later this month with at least a couple of these, that they try to get too, here's all the bullshit. And I'm going to go, okay.
No.
Can it not just be Alien Hunters, please?
Predator 2 doesn't really establish much other than the ending with the other predators and the wall and stuff like that. Predators, that really is pretty heavy on Predator kind of like lore seriousness. And then AVP is kind of a mix. But I don't think you're going to be too disappointed. And the next movie kind of fixes that jokey feel that this one had, where it's very much a serious drama horror, Zach, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
So 2 things I forgot to mention. One, it made me, and Hunter's review made me think of it. I feel like, and I could be wrong, besides like The Thing and all that, this is one of those few movies as well that's like a horror movie where it's the big buff guy who, you know, you see these guys and these guys are the heroes and they're the ones that are being hunted down, and you see kind of like how you're saying some of them are breaking and that kind of stuff. I think that's kind of neat. Also, I just watched that scene in super slow so I could have a verdict. If you watch it super slow, and I can send it to you or whatever, but it shoots the butt of the gun so very close to where it's supposed to happen, and then all of a sudden you see like the blood splatter happen or whatever. So so it does shoot the gun instead of his arm.
Right.
But
the movie should do a much better job of telling you that.
Hunter, if everyone would just slow it down, you'd know.
Right, then it would be obvious.
It wouldn't be a problem. Film it in that weird slowdown that you did in Phantom of the Opera.
Here's a massive nitpick that I forgot to mention earlier, but I have to put it out there. When he lures, after he does the like call out into the jungle, well, two things. One, Arnold does the big call out into the jungle, and the Predator, the shot they show of him where it's kind of like a low angle and he pops up on this branch. I had to watch it twice. I was laughing so hard because Sarah was watching it with me. I said, I'm going to narrate this film and I just need you to go with it. She's like, oh God. The second time when he pops up, after the Arnold yells, fucking Predator pops up and I just go, what the fuck was that? Like off to the side. The way they have him angle his head looks like he's like, who the fuck is paying the bills to be yelling in my house right now? It fucking ruined me. You need to go back and watch that specific scene. But the other thing is right after that, and again, it was jokey in a way that the movie didn't mean to. He lures him into his little Home Alone traps, into the big fire. He's got the bow and arrow with the explosives on the end of it, right? In the leaf. When he lets go of the arrow, like he's got it knocked up and he lets it go, they let that go on a little too long because you can tell it's not a real arrow. It's just a prop arrow. That motherfucker falls right out of the bow and just falls straight down. And they cut just a little too late, so you see it just like boo, and then in the other shot, it's like flying straight at him perfectly, like he's a master archer.
They should have just pulled.
It fucked me up a little bit.
They should have pulled one of the PZ85 Pro tactics and just said that was just one of the possible outcomes when Dutch shoots this bow.
Just cut away a little faster. It was very funny to me. Yeah, again, at the end of the day, it's a good film. I'm not gonna act like it's not a good film. Great cast, a ton of fun to watch them interact with each other. Great on set, stuff. Roger Ebert really nailed it. It's just it needs a little more. Right. Needs a little more baking, and it would be perfect.
I have two thoughts on it. One, you said something earlier about making this film now, and I think part of the problem is you couldn't make this film now, and not just because of some of the things that Jesse Ventura specifically said. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. But also the action, the action genre looks very different now. Men aren't as absolutely jacked like they're in this movie. They have more of that leaner John Wick or, something faster paced. So you would have a hard time remaking this movie and people not booing it out of the building when none of them look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Or at least a Bill Duke. You got to give me something.
Yeah.
So this movie kind of exists in its own time bubble, and I love that about it. The second thing is, I'm also going to give it one up. I'm going to go with the Zach. That's triple Zachs this week. And it's because the movie the movie is better than the monster that's in it. Like, when the monster of your movie is the worst part of the movie, then something's wrong. But maybe they shouldn't have picked Arnold Schwarzenegger and let him be Arnold Schwarzenegger to go up against the Predator. When you said this felt like a Schwarzenegger vehicle, I thought, yeah, absolutely. This was clearly tailor-made for him, and then nothing else ever comes to this level of campy, like Zach said, or weird and funny again. So as much as I love a twist, I never could get into the Predator as a horror villain, and he becomes uninteresting. He looks cool, visibly looks amazing. The size of Kevin Hall and the design of the creature and all that was fantastic. Especially takes the mask off, and again the mandibles, the eyes, the effects are top notch. But and the fact that he can go into stealth, etc., that's all cool. But it plays out. Even though it's a monster, it might as well still have been a war movie, because it kind of feels like it plays out like an action movie still, but you're changing the tone to horror. At least you're telling me that's what it should be. And it doesn't feel right when the villain is so uninteresting. Like, I'm sure part of the reason people go see Terrifier is because they like Art the Clown. Not because the movie's fantastic, but you like Art because he's the movie and he's the most interesting part of it. The most interesting part of Predator is Schwarzenegger. Predator is like 5th on the list. And so I don't know. I have to take it down for that. There's just something about that and the Predator being so empty. It's like drinking a soda. It's delicious, but it has no value to me in this film. And comparing that to the Xenomorphs and Alien, which we talked about last night, are fascinating and horrific. I can't say that they're on equal grounds. So I'm going to go one up on this, but it's a strong one up. I also love this movie. I really, really do. I like this movie more than Alien, but it has too many problems. It has too many problems and an uninteresting villain, and I can't go all the way with it. But strong one
interesting.
Up. Strong one up.
Well, it's interesting because you gave Alien 2 thumbs up. And then one up here, and you say, "But you like this one better." Well, okay, I see what you're saying, but you think it's a better. Alien's a better
much better
made
film. Yeah,
film.
Both.
You just like this one,
but both films are made very well. It's not like one's low budget and the other's big. They're very equal in terms of everything. But Alien is just it's a more intelligent film. It's a more interesting film.
Yeah. Did we do this? Did we give Ghostbusters 2 thumbs up as well? Or was it 1 up as well? And I think we may have both said...
I don't know.
I don't remember, but I do know that we had kind of a similar situation where it was like, yeah, look, I like this one better, despite the fact that it really kind of just does a lot of the same stuff the first movie did. Doesn't always do it as well. Right. It has kind of a contrived way of getting back into the plot. So, I mean, it's a different situation. That was a sequel, but yeah, still worth noting.
Yeah, it's very much the same feeling. I could watch this movie like Zach. I could watch this every other day. I could have Phantom of the Opera this shit and watched it every night when I was in St. Louis if it wasn't for the Phantom. But Alien, I have to be in kind of the right mindset for. I need to have a dark, dreadful film, and for me, I'd rather see action and humor and that Schwarzenegger presence. Because again, we mentioned Schwarzenegger 1,000 times, but you cannot overlook how big he was in that time period as an action star. I mean, this is the guy here. I lost track of what I was going to say. This is what I was telling you about. It's okay. It's just too much Schwarzenegger in my brain.
Time. Well, then, again, the name of this episode just needs to be The Muscle Mass Alone.
I can't break protocol. In a lot of ways, and you'll probably disagree with me, I think that Predator 2 actually might be a better film than the first Predator. It's grittier. It's and maybe when I rewatch it, I'll change my mind. But it's grittier. It's bloodier. It has a grime to it, like Alien, Predator 2. It's very different.
It definitely seems like they try to play more into the grotesque or like the horrifying aspects of the Predator.
Yeah,
especially because it's a different kind of Predator.
Right. This guy's hunting in the city.
But that ties into the lore.
Yeah.
So.
If you ever played the Sega Genesis game for Predator 2, I think it's just, is it called Predator or is it Predator 2? I think it actually is called Predator 2. It has the picture from the movie with him standing there with the skull and the head and the spine covered in like blood and gore on the cover of it. And I remember thinking, holy shit, I can't believe they put that on the cover of a Sega Genesis game. Yee.
I will say too, the PlayStation 2 game plays very much a lot like that movie, or it's
in the city.
Similar, yeah.
Did you ever beat it?
Concrete jungle. No.
Do you know who you fight at the end?
Is it? Let me guess. I feel like it's either going to be Dutch or a queen of some sort.
Just Xenomorphs. But the fact that they do have the aliens at the end of the game, it's like the last level or something like that. The Predator has the fight aliens. So yeah, kind of a neat thing there. So I think I can say this now. That makes, well, no, let's say it after the ending. Let's say it after the epilogue. We'll save it for that. The ending here. As night falls, Dutch covers himself in mud, one of his favorite part, and lets out a war cry to lure the Predator to him. He uses his invisibility to wound the Predator and disable his cloaking device, but falls into a river which washes off his mud camouflage. Deeming Dutch a worthy opponent, the Predator removes its weapon and mask, revealing a monstrous visage to face him in hand-to-hand combat. And one of the best lines in the movie, "You one ugly motherfucker." Which
ugly motherfucker.
Which the Predator repeats to him at the end, which I thought was pretty funny. Easily outmatched by the larger and stronger creature, Dutch attempts to goad it into a trap tunnel, but the Predator suspects his plan and circumvents it. Dutch triggers the trap himself, releasing its counterweight, which I feel like I'm doing wrestling commentary here, which crushes the Predator. Mortally wounded, the Predator activates a wrist-mounted self-destruct device and laughs, and it's Billy's laugh from earlier. Dutch flees, barely escaping the enormous resulting explosion that raises the area. And as dawn breaks, the extraction helicopter arrives with Anna to collect the exhausted and traumatized Dutch. So that's
I should have added the exhausted and traumatized and definitely irradiated Dutch.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Also, that's okay. All that honor for the Predator. How many woodland creatures do you kill on a daily basis when you fail?
Hey, they were all armed.
Oh my God.
I will say, if you watch the like the dead meat for predators, every time that the predator does his little like, oh, I'm just gonna blow everything up, it's always funny because James is always like, all right, Predator, you're supposed to be this badass hunter, but then you act like a bitch.
He turns into a suicide bomber.
He's like, all right,
yeah,
well, I'll just blow it all up.
Well, I get the point. The point is that they're not supposed to leave any evidence. Because you see later where they literally have a Predator, I think he's called like the Cleaner, that comes in and like destroys all the evidence that's left behind. Oh, I think it's Requiem.
And it also well,
because the Predator chases the Pred alien.
Yeah, so in Requiem they send in a veteran by the name of Wolf.
Wolf, yeah.
And he's like been around for like a while, and hunting xenomorphs is like nothing to him. He can kill a queen
and he disposes of the evidence, right? Like that they had left behind.
Well, kinda. Basically because it was like the hybrid. He was sent in because he's one of the experienced warriors. He hunts xenomorphs, and then it's like a new prey. And I don't know if they necessarily like call him, or if it's just one of those like they send out a beacon, like, hey, we got a problem. Ship went down. Someone needs to go figure out what's going on. And he was just like, okay. Or they do send him. But I know that. I mean, I think the Cleaner that you're talking about, though, is in the Predator, is the one that's hunting the fugitive. Because he's there to clean up the evidence.
Oh, man. Boy, you dragged that out so long, I don't even want to do the joke now. It was a simple punchline that I was going to say.
You got to tell me before.
And I was going to say, and they named him Wolf after Winston Wolfe from the movie Pulp Fiction. Because, and then I was going to say I made all that shit up. And maybe it's true. We don't know. I made it up on the spot. And if it is true, you owe me some money, Zach.
Well, all right. That's in the trivia for it. That it's not in the trivia that I wrote down here, but it's in the IMDb trivia that his name is Wolf because, like Wolf in Pulp Fiction, he's a cleaner. Like he cleans shit up. Yeah.
I swear to God, I made that up, and I did not know that.
See? You were
wow.
Now, what you're not remembering is that scene from the film where the Predator has a cup of coffee and he goes, "Do me a favor. Tell me what it says out front of my garage. Does it say Dead Predator Storage?"
Quentin Tarantino, you did it again. Give that man an Academy Award. Hope he's not on that Epstein list.
He's got a couple.
A lot of them are.
I don't think he needed to. That wasn't really his vibe.
The whole list thing does come into play too for Aliens versus Predator. They play heavily into like why they have those and that too.
well, to make more body counts. And I think we should mention that there were, terrible segue, 69 humans that died in this film, most at the hands of Dutch, one scorpion, one boar, and one predator, also at the hands of Dutch.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, I feel like the predator died to himself. Dutch just wounded him.
Hey, in Call of Duty, when you jump off the map, whoever shot you last gets credit for the kill. So
yeah,
that's true. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
it popped up on the bottom of his screen.
Yeah, it just says the _predator, and then mistakes were made.
Roll credits. What happens after the credits, though? Well, this is the start of a franchise that Dutch never comes back to, except I remember this in the PlayStation 4 Predator game. They put Dutch in the game, and Arnold did the voiceover for it. He did an ad for it as Dutch. So there was one more appearance of Schwarzenegger as Dutch.
And his likeness.
And his likeness in the Predator.
You have a problem with.
The anime. Yeah, we'll talk about it someday. He's one of the people in the glass tubes alongside Danny Glover's character and the girl from Prey. So just keeping him there, which goes against everything the Predators stand for. And that's stupid. So they better hurry up and put another movie out where it turns out this is the rogue Predators that are dicks. Because they literally, in the lore, when the Predator is defeated by somebody, that person gets like a treasure and a thank you, and they praise him as the better hunter and leave. In that movie, they kept him in stasis to fight in a bigger hunt one day. That's so dumb.
To be fair,
I'm gonna go full Cody.
Look at like Predators though, because they don't even go. They bring their prey to them.
Those are the lazy ones. Yeah, those are the lazy ones. They order takeout.
But it's a different clan.
They ordered DoorDash.
The bad blood.
I know. Yeah,
they did order DoorDash.
They ordered
Galactic Dash.
What happens after the goddamn film? So, the Predator hunts many different people in many different films that are never connected to each other. So, it's really hard to say what happens at the end of this. The only character that you can really go for is Dutch. So, I assume he had PTSD, went insane, and spent the rest of his years in like a home. And then that home was defunded by Donald Trump so he could fund pedophiles.
I don't know where this came from, and Zach can correct me or confirm for me or whatever at the end, but apparently there's some understanding that when this was over, so quite literally again, what the Predator set off was a tactical nuke, basically. Yeah. So Dutch I joked about it earlier, but Dutch is literally like irradiated.
Yeah,
I mean, he's awash in fucking radiation. Right. So they take him from the end of the film. He goes to some like military VA hospital. They, in some form or fashion, they find out what happened to him. Like once they confirm that he's irradiated, they know something's up. And I guess eventually they find out something about the Predator. Like they find out that it existed, was there. He finds out that they find this out and is concerned essentially that they're going to, because again, he doesn't actually work for the United States government. Like he's
like a rogue ops team. Yeah.
He's right. He's a soldier of fortune. So he's worried that they're basically going to keep him, under lock and key, and they're going to question him to death. And so he escapes. He escapes the hospital, goes on the lam, and is never heard from again. Now, where that came from, I don't know if it's in a comic, if it's in a book, a movie, whatever.
Or he escapes. He's highly irradiated. It starts to mess with his cells. It changes him. Suddenly, when he gets angry, his skin turns green. And since you've got Arnold Schwarzenegger playing him, you don't have to like change the size at all. He just stays that way because that's a man. Nowadays you got to do
the Incredible Hulk.
Nowadays you got to do CGI for that because all the matchstick men look like the Hayden Christensen Panettiere. Damn it, I can't think of his name.
What?
What's his name?
What are you talking
about? I like Hayden Christensen.
I like Hayden Christensen.
And also, Hayden Panettiere is a girl.
Yes, that's probably the joke. Daniel Radcliffe. That's what your action heroes look like now. Oh, God.
What? Oh, Lord.
What do you guys think,
anyway.
though? What's your ending?
Well, that was basically my idea. I'm throwing that out there. It's not really an idea because apparently it is already a thing. No, not with the fucking Hulk. apparently it's already a thing. I don't know where this was like confirmed or if it was like, again, a cut ending, like there was some sort of epilogue that they were going to mention, but like, that seems like a pretty good setup, and I sort of like the idea that bleeds into the next one. If you want to actually bring Schwarzenegger back, I don't think the whole, now it's in the city, now Danny Glover's having to deal with it, and halfway through the movie, they're in a fucking bind, and Dutch kicks down the door and goes, "Let me help you." Like, that's, yeah. And they have the same, handshake.
Oh,
it's
my
not
God.
the same because it's not Carl Weathers.
We didn't even mention that. Is there more infamous quote from a movie? I'm sure there are. You could argue, but "Get to the Choppa." How many times has that been parodied and referenced in everything? I think there's an achievement in Warcraft called "Get to the Choppa" or something like that. It's everywhere. That thing will stand the test of time. Alien didn't have no classic iconic line.
Game over, man.
That's Aliens.
Game over.
Get away from me, you bitch.
You're talking about the franchise.
Fair.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's also a good one too.
So, Zach, you're done. We're done. Can we just call it a wrap there?
I just have one other thing to add. So
Thank God.
do see here apparently in the novelization for Predator 2, they do mention Dutch and that he's been hospitalized after his traumatic experience. But he is believed to be dead by the time the sequel takes place. However, his brother is a detective searching for him, and it's just remained a mystery kind of thing.
What was that from?
The novelization of Predator 2.
Because I think there's a part in the film where they mention Dutch. I'm almost positive.
So they mention they talk about a soldier and it. We'll talk about it more when we watch it, but it has to do with him when they kind of are explaining what's going on, because by the time Predator 2 happens, we do know an awful lot about these things.
And Gary Busey's there, so let that sink in.
Yes.
Okay. So
what's
Bill Paxton.
Yes. There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so that draws it to a close, which means that this week we can safely, no argument here, award in the battle of Alien versus Predator that Alien is the winner of week 1. Let's give it up for Alien real quick.
Yep. Hey.
Hold on, I have one.
I don't have it in front of me.
God bless whoever put this on the soundboard, because it actually fits this time.
Those damn alien bastards are real.
My goal is that you will never hear me laugh like that on this show again. I want to take the mirth right out of me, like a little mirth abortion. Little mirth fetus.
Little mirth abortion.
Don't repeat things in front of him.
God.
He'll use it against me. All right, so that's going to do it for this week's episodes of Extras and Epilogues. We'll, of course, be back tomorrow with PZ85 Plays. I didn't forget this time. I forgot yesterday. And you said we're in the final stretch for this act.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if I've done my mental math correctly, assuming we don't miss any weeks or whatever, there's a strong possibility we're done by end of March or so. We average about 10 episodes per act, and we are on Act 3, and this is the final act of the story, and you guys got a lot done last week. Matter of fact, go back and listen to that, podzilla1985.com. Last week's episode, I think this whole season, this whole act anyway, well, this whole season in general, but this act of it has been really, really good.
I agree.
We had a nice long break, and we're able to come back to it fresh, but this past one was one with a lot of stuff that got revealed. So yeah, go take a look at that. Horror at Headstone Hill.
Also, I have an idea for the top 5 for Thursday. Hear me out.
Ooh.
top 5 things based on something Zach said about this film. Top 5 things you shouldn't have watched. You were too young for. Like you
Married with Children. Oh,
put it on your list.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about that though? Because we all have things that we're like, yeah, I shouldn't have watched that as a kid. Yeah. And spoiler alert, E.T. will be on the top of my fucking list. And then this no, don't get your goddamn hobo rat fingers out of my face. Oh god, it's so creepy. They're like little worms. You sound like British zombies.
Oi,
Oh.
it's just E.T. going in it. Oh, you what, mate?
Oh no.
He's broken, ladies and gentlemen. Shannon will be right back after these messages from Benford Tools.
That's Thursday, along with a fun topic. And then, of course, this weekend, we are streaming on Friday. Zach's Finger all weekend long. We'll be doing Repo on Friday. Overdrive on Saturday, of course, and then something on Sunday, probably. I don't know. And we'll do it all again next week. All right, that's it. We're out of here. Thank you, Zach, for being here. We'll see you next week. Hunter, see you tomorrow. And please take us out. Oh, and the balcony is closed.
Run, go. Okay, run, go. Get to the chopper.